As a socialist, I am also a very strident civil libertarian, and it gets me in trouble sometimes on the left. And those on the right who claim the libertarian banner are perplexed by it. And I'm going to explain. I'm a civil libertarian, meaning that while I think that libertarian economics suck eggs, and because it's horrible, I like the idea of live and let live as far as people's personal lives are concerned. I believe in the Constitution, U.S. Constitution, and all of its positive trappings that's supposed to guarantee individual rights for all. I separate economic rights from individual rights because you can't have human rights if all of capital is hoarded into one area by an oligarchy and an elitist institution or what have you. You have to have public accountability of the economy. So when it comes to the economy, I hate libertarianism. When it comes to people's individual rights, I love libertarianism. I am a free speech absolutist. I'm a right to privacy absolutist. When it comes to religious liberty, let me put it this way. I believe in freedom of religion as well as freedom from religion, meaning, separation of church and state, secular government. So uh, it's part of what I've always believed. I mean, going back to the days when I joined the ACLU back in the early 1990s. And I'm an old school ACLU type progressive leftist. So I'm going to mention some names here: Julian Assange, Glenn Greenwald, Chelsea Manning, Ed Snowden. Yep, there's a lot going on right now. Now, Chelsea Manning, of course, she was the analyst for the U.S. Army who was sharing sensitive documents about the Iraq War and the broader war on terror to Julian Assange of WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is basically, you can call it the Pentagon Papers of the 21st century, and you can almost say that Chelsea Manning might be the Daniel Ellsberg of the 21st century in our modern time. He was tortured and placed in prison, and eventually was set free. Obama did the right thing when he set her free. Um, she's a whistleblower, and as far as I'm concerned, she's a hero. Um, Chelsea Manning is a hero. Not what Ronald Reagan said about Oliver North when he called Oliver North a national hero in 1986, 87. I think it was 86. He was full of shit when he said that because Oliver North is a war criminal. Chelsea Manning is what a hero should be. Glenn Greenwald, civil liberties attorney, First Amendment absolutist, journalist, um, worked with Ed Snowden, who's another whistleblower, also another American hero, and this year was responsible for Lula da Silva in Brazil being set free from prison. Lula da Silva may become the next president or return to his presidency again in Brazil because of Glenn Greenwald. Now, Shank Ugert, I remember the early summer, Shank Ugert, who used to have positive vibes about Glenn Greenwald and vice versa, basically referred to him as a Nazi sympathizer recently. A very insulting statement and very untrue. I mean, we're talking about a Jewish gay man married to a Brazilian man who's a member of Congress in the Brazilian parliament for the Socialism and Liberty Party, a Trotskyist organization. which is a split from the more social democratic, ideologically speaking, Workers' Party, which is the party of Lula da Silva. Um, Chelsea Manning. He also worked with Chelsea Manning, supported her, raising money, $10,000. He was also a friend. And just like the Twitter war Glenn Greenwald had earlier this summer with Cenk Uygur, and Cenk Uygur was in the wrong, Glenn Greenwald was correct. Um, there was a Twitter war sort of going on between, mostly from Chelsea Manning. And I just think it's terrible. I just think it's terrible what happened with regard to the Twitter war, where basically she is scared of a quote unquote change in the politics of Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald, around my age, a little older than me, I understand where Glenn Greenwald's coming from. Maybe it's the Generation X in me, but I mean, come from an era, part of, I would say, broadly speaking, part of the 1980s anti-Reagan left that existed at the time when being anti-conservative was politically faux pas. And he's got a lot of baggage, and I'm not saying baggage like it's a terrible thing. I got that same baggage too. Um, got that baggage where sometimes you will utter things or say things or embrace positions that seem a little bit politically incorrect or not as sensitive or what have you. And I know there's been a morphing of the left in recent years, where basically there is a purity a test on the left on par with that of the Reagan and Bush one era when you had the moral majority of Jerry Falwell, and you had the Christian Coalition of Pat Robertson in the 1990s, and you have obnoxious people to this day like John Hagee. There's still a hangover of this purity test. And if you don't believe in A, B, C, and D, you must be a scumbag. That's how the right operated for many, many years. And that's how a lot of the left today have seemed to have taken the cue from the right. And to the point where it's like, damn, y'all sound like the Christian Coalition in the 1990s or the moral majority in the 1980s. Pearl clutchers. And the thing about it is, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Going on Fox was what she was scared of. That Glenn Greenwald goes on Fox. Again, I have said this, that I don't have a problem with Glenn Greenwald or Jimmy Dore or anybody on the left. I believe Deidre Griswold from the Workers' World Party's been on Tucker Carlson. And I don't have the politics at all of the Workers' World Party. Yet, I mean, it was okay. It was interesting watching Deidre Griswold and Tucker Carlson debate about the politics. I believe they were discussing North Korea or something like that. It was been a while back. But the point I'm trying to make is, Bernie Sanders has been on Tucker Carlson. Cornel West has been on Tucker Carlson. Tulsi Gabbard's been on Tucker Carlson. So, and think about it is, you don't have to like Tucker Carlson. I don't like Tucker Carlson. I don't have any use for what he has to. And I know that when he has leftists on his program, that he's essentially using them. But you know what? The leftists that go on Tucker Carlson, has it ever occurred to anybody who's critical of these leftists going on Tucker Carlson that maybe that the left, maybe that these leftist individuals are using Tucker Carlson too? Because I'm sure some people's minds have been changed with some of these people on that program. And as I said, you don't have to like Tucker Carlson. But, while it's okay to sit there and criticize Tucker Carlson, you also have to realize there are people much worse on Fox News than Tucker Carlson. Hate to burst the bubble. Hate to burst the bubble. But you'd think that Sean Hannity would be willing to be hospitable to a real leftist guest, or someone like Mark Levin, who's the biggest jackass that you can imagine on that fucking network. I mean, as I said, let me tell you, if they were able to go on Sean Hannity or Mark Levin, they will. Mark Levin and Sean Hannity will have it manipulated in such a way to try to silence these people, and act like they're the ones that quote unquote own people. And doesn't mean that just because you control the debate, meaning you own somebody. So anyway, what I want to do, and she just hold tight for a second. Give me a second here. I do want to. I feel like I need to. Hold on a second here. There we go. Well, I just want to say I had a video, but I think I'll save that video for another time. Sorry about that. My point is that this sort of infighting and nitpicking on the left, that's been going on is counterproductive. It really is counterproductive, and I still respect Chelsea Manning, but I have to say she's wrong on this one. Um, and saying that she would give him back the $10,000. I mean, he did what he did because it was the right thing to do. Chelsea Manning was tortured. She was put in prison for exposing crimes by the U.S. government. I mean, this sort of thing, and I mean, look at the 20-year war we just went through in Afghanistan. Now, one thing I would say that the war may be sort of more or less over in Afghanistan, but you know what? There's bombings going on in Somalia and elsewhere, and we got to put a stop to that too. We got to put a stop to all this criminal nature of the military industrial complex, the neocons and the neolibs who run by that Washington consensus. So um, I'm sad that that there seems to be more disunity on the left, and the thing about it is none of these people are perfect that I just mentioned. Uh, as I said, I mean, I do defend Glenn Greenwald, but he's not perfect. Julian Assange is not perfect. I defend him. I defend Ed Snowden. He's not perfect, and neither is Chelsea Manning, who I view mostly in a positive light in spite of this happening. I mean, I just want to know what the hell happened where everybody's like nitpicking and trying to find little things to smear people with. And, just you don't like the tactics this leftist use. I'm going to smear this leftist. I don't like what the tactic they use. And not only am I going to smear them, I'm not going to forgive them. I'm going to just consider them, just a scumbag and not anybody I ever want to associate with anymore. Very judgmental mentality. And there are good people on the left that's unfortunately engaged in this. And as I said, I'm deeply saddened by this. Anyway, if you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, well, we'll have a conversation anyway. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we are the muckrakers of our time. Feel free also to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, so you kept up to date with hard-hitting social democratic commentary by yours truly. I am American Social Democracy. Peace, class struggle, no more neocon wars, and let civil liberties reign. Let it be supreme and let it happen for everybody. Let us have some civil liberties, individual rights, and no more this judgmentalism, and no more this Orwellian world that we are embarking in right now.